I think it was him, yeah.
Here, you want to get on there? Yeah, if I can.
It doesn't matter. Look, your bank accounts, everything are going to be liquidated soon. The globalists are coming after everybody. America's falling. That's what this is about.
Where was the security 50 years ago?
That's right. Where was the security 50 years ago? No, it's only here for the American people. Well, I've definitely had enough fun with these crazy people. My God, they literally sent a goon squad over there.
No feeling, no capacity.
Well, no, they wanted to beat us up. They wanted to attack us. And I'm sorry I started blowing up a little bit and cussing, but I was just on the very edge of starting to, man, I tell you. Those guys are such cowards. They wouldn't do that in person with somebody. No, they only do it when they're in a big group like that. Let me tell you, folks, we've seen the enemy now. They've trained that we're the enemy. They are our enemy. They want to be our enemy. At least that group of people did right there. They absolutely are mentally ill. We're over there laughing, having fun, about to leave, and then all these guys come running up aggressively and start shoving and pushing us. I even saw some of the other cops going, "What are you doing?" I saw the other police going, "What are you doing?" They let us in, and then they did that to us. Absolute, total, and complete horse crap.
Hey, Alex, can you hear me?
And I know the police are listening on 104.1 right now, so I can talk to the police department directly. This is the most mentally ill, dumb thing I have ever seen in my life. That we're supposed to go in there, we were supposed to be part of the deal, and then they literally assault us after they let us in and we're over there being nice. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. We just saw a Dallas police riot, ladies and gentlemen. We literally just saw mental illness on display. All right, folks, walk with me back this way. I personally am just absolutely blown away that they let us in. The newspaper said at the end of the ceremony we'd be let into the main area at 2:30 for the ceremony. And then, do you know what just happened over there? I mean, this is mental illness because COPA filed the lawsuit, then they took it back. They said when it was over, the main groups could go in, whoever wanted, and then at 2:30 we could go on to the area for our own wreath laying. And those cops were all nice. Everything was fine. They let us in. We're just sitting over there laughing about to leave if they didn't hurry up and let us in there. And like 15 goon-like cops run in. The other cops go, what are you doing? They all run up. One of them starts, I guess, trying to provocateur, like punching me in the stomach, not just pushing me. And I was in shock at that point. There was like little girls, people's shoulders, knocking people down. One guy didn't even resist him. They had him pinned up against a sign. That was literally what I see in third world countries. That was crazy. We weren't even yelling at them. We weren't even saying anything. A few people like booed because they were obviously showing up to attack us. We're like, woo! And the other cops were like, no, it's all right. And then they attacked us. I mean, what the hell just went on? Do you want your kids growing up in a country like that? What is your name, sir?
That's a cop.
Anyways.
He won't say anything. They just stare. That's creepy.
My whole point is this culture into the police that you see in a third world country. They don't even say sir to the public. I say sir to everybody. I'm from Texas. They literally, the average police, especially in big cities, are literally, they're doing psychological tests, whatever, programming in the authoritarian model and type. And they're not, I mean, I have a lot of cops listen to my show. They're really nice, give us a lot of good tips and stuff. But it's like the mob psychology of whoever called in those cops to literally assault people. And folks almost fought back. And then if a kid gets hurt or something in the atmosphere of this country, you know what's going to happen. Folks, it's 1776. It's so close. And I do everything on my radio show. I guess the police obviously around here don't listen and don't know, to try to, with all the military and all the special warfare people that are just waiting and getting ready, and they say they're going to go after the tip of the spear of the police when it all starts. And I'm saying, no, we need to take the country back peacefully. And I just hope all the police up there listening and watching who wanted to play Rambo and play tough guy, I hope you understand that when you push us, you take our guns, you do this. America won't just be run over by goons forever and shoved up against walls and little girls crying like it's Tiananmen Square. You guys need to know that. So I literally just got radicalized 10 more levels today. I mean, I'm telling you, because nothing was going on. We're standing around laughing, and then the other cops, when the goons ran up, were like, what are you doing? And it was just, and they didn't say you need to go. They just started shoving everybody. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Most everybody's gone home. Great job, everybody. I'm leaving. And it's really sad that the First Amendment did pretty well here today until now, and I am completely shocked. So, and they're taking all our other rights, and they're taking up the pension funds, all the liberties going, all the prosperity, all the due process. America is dying. America is dying. It's very sad. Come on, folks. We tried to do the best we could. We tried to do the best we could. Man, I am just totally depressed and totally freaked out for this country. God, we're in trouble. This country is so screwed up. I mean, it's one thing if you got a bunch of people out yelling at cops, throwing things, something, to have the cops do that. This was literally, we're standing around admiring some cop's giant mustache. We're making jokes. We're talking about the whore media. And literally, like 15 guys run up. Most of our crowd had already left, out here for hours in the rain. And this one really goonish one, looked like an ex-convict type, but, I mean, those guys all did look like criminals. I mean, I just, this country, I'm living in Clockwork Orange here. All right, we're going out to break here in a minute. David and I, we're going to keep transmitting until I get back, and I tell you, this is just absolutely disgusting.
It was the sheriff that attacked us.
It was the sheriff.
The sheriffs, yeah.
Yeah, it was the sheriffs. Sheriff's deputies. Wasn't the...
Right
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, and we're still live, although we're in overdrive. We just had an incident in Dallas where Alex and the people with him were attacked, an unprovoked attack by the Dallas police. I think it was the sheriff's department. Alex, recap this for everybody, exactly what just happened.
Well,
here.
Rob Dew, thank you. Rob Dew, being calm, cool, and collected, actually talked to one of the head police, and I think he has it on video. He's shooting it on high def. And he said, well, you ought to be ashamed of your men. And the guy looked at him basically with tears in his eyes, and he said, no, it's the sheriff did it. And now that I think back, it was actually sheriff's deputies.
Yes. And
we have a witness. They formed up at the federal building under DHS orders because they had a DHS guy that went over and got them. And I remember him leaving when I made a joke about wiping the federal government's butt. And then the federal guy went over, got those guys because they pay sheriff's deputies, Dallas police, you name it, to be part of special event. Special security. It's like, oh, you're a little junior CIA agent. You get to, chew on our toes and stuff like that. You get to bow down to us. You get to bring us coffee. Exactly. They're like the little minions. And so literally we're all standing there being totally friendly to the cops, talking to them. Everything's fine. We're waiting officially to be let in after the event, and then at 2:30 after that to be let into the grassy area itself with COPA and other groups to lay the wreath. And to have a moment of silence there. And that was over lawsuit threats that they had to open it up after the official event. And that was the deal. So I told a senior Dallas police officer who was out there, who was in charge of everything, he went and checked. He goes, yeah, that's true, go in. So we're in there about 30 minutes broadcasting live. We're about to leave. We're like, who wants to go into the sanctum of sanctums? We're already in here. We're done. Let's go get something to eat. And all of a sudden, these guys come running up all aggressively. So the crowd kind of goes, ooh. And I go, no, don't boo. They're nice. I don't know why, but they were acting real aggressive, getting ready. And we're talking to the Dallas police. The Dallas police looked at them and said, why? What? And the sheriff's deputies basically were in command and said, pointed at them. And then this real criminal-looking, like criminal out of a movie comes up. And they were looking at me like they wanted to kill me. And I thought, man, this is like the criminal squad. These are the guys that do the nasty stuff. And then they didn't push first. One of them punched me from about 6 inches away, looking that there were no cameras. Pow, hoping I'd do something. But it was into my rib. It wasn't even that bad. It was kind of like, about like that. So he hit me, and then it did take me off guard. I was like, and then boom, 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 boom. And we're like, whoa, let us go. And then they would see people falling over and get in on that and shove some guy over a little girl and shove their head into a... They pinned one guy that wasn't resisting him in any way up against one of those city signs and were just ramming his head in with pleasure. This was hardcore criminal energy with a trained attack dog that America and free people are their enemy, just ready to attack. Hatred of freedom, hatred of free speech. They literally brought in those are the goons. With the sheriff's department. They look dirtier than hell. They ought to be in central casting for movies of dirty cops. They look gangsterous, low-down, thug-like scum. And the sheriff's department is under federal control. And I guess their argument was Dealey's federal property. Here's the big lawsuit. We weren't on Dealey Plaza. Yeah, that's federal. That's just like they grabbed Kokesh on federal property. Yeah, well, they're claiming it's a federal park, but then quasi-city. Oh, you just talked to the police. What did they say, Anthony Gucciardi?
Well, after I was literally pushed down by cops onto the cement, and I saw someone get punched in the face. And
Did you resist any?
No, not at all. And he was reveling in it. It was this major fat bald guy, and he kept pushing and saying, "Get out of the way!" And I turned around. I said, "Relax, I'm going to go." And he said, "Don't look back at me," and pushed me down. But we talked. It was literal insanity. It's all on camera. Go to Infowars.com and see it. It's total. That's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. That is the most brutal action.
I've seen police attack people if somebody throws a bottle at them or something, and then they'll attack the whole crowd, which is wrong. We did nothing. And they were like little kids, and they knew it. Let me tell you. Every instinct as a man in me was, this is the enemy. These are criminals. And every instinct, it was just like flashing, like the revolution, the whole deal, just how we're going to defeat them, how we're going to crush them. I don't want that to happen, but I realize they're not going to stop. They've hired an army of criminals. This is Nazi Germany, folks. This is it. We are in deep, this is Soviet takeover. We are in deep crap. I'm telling you, this country is in deep crap. Let me tell all the corrupt people who work for the system, all the bureaucrats that pull those goon strings. They've already taken all the pension funds, the Social Security money. It's already all gone. They're bringing America down to enslave us. That's why they're putting all this in place, to absolutely oppress everyone. And the tyranny you've seen in the poor neighborhoods is now going to be exported everywhere. And those cops won't even know why their standard of living goes down. All they'll know is they get to beat people up. Because I saw in their eyes, in some of those guys' eyes, what I've seen in like crime TV shows with the killers and the rapists and I was like, whoa, these are real criminals. I mean, these were bad men. These were real killers. These were scum cowards, though, who want to do it in a gang when they've got the power of the badge and everything behind them. This is a shameful. Let me tell you, the Dallas County Police are literally unbelievable trash. I have never seen anything like this. Gucciardi, it was, one of the first times in my life, I was actually speechless by the criminal energy, and every level of me was just envisioning what we're going to have to do to stop them. I mean, this is unbelievable.
I was standing right next to you, Alex, and we were like, it turned into berserk mode. I mean, we're all about peaceful activism. I felt like I was literally in a war, and they had begun a hot berserking attack on us. Every instinct in my primal body said fight back and, fight back, but I didn't do it because I didn't want to resist.
But we're smarter than we're going to win in the info war, and then they're going to keep pushing the physical, and our forces, the special warfare people, everybody that actually are men, care about honor, are all ready when they try it. Smash their ass.
Exactly.
1776 is coming. 1776 is coming. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. They're trained that we're the enemy. If you're a good person, they're coming for you. Evil is coming. I swear to God, and all of you that serve evil, your children, you're destroying their future. You don't give a crap. None of those guys even have kids. Bunch of crooks. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And we went, and I saw someone. He wasn't directly punching me. He was going to move someone else, and he was forcibly moving his hand. He punched him in the face. The kid couldn't have been 16, 17. And he came back, and he said, I'm finding that badge number. And they looked all over, and I think it was that massively fat guy that pushed me, too. We talked to the lieutenant. And I say that not because I'm against, fat people. It's because he's, like, reveling in, like, his illustrious power.
I could tell you some of those guys were tough, but I could tell you, we had right on our side, we would have hammered their ass.
Oh, obviously. No.
So ready.
No one talked about when they came. It's because the people came against police brutality with these signs. It's because they have an open case against them, and they scurried like cockroaches.
Oh, listen, I was telling that sheriff's deputy, we sued Pittsburgh and won. I don't have time to sue people. I have to sue them now. I mean, they just, because that's the legal violence I can use back on them. I said, I'm taking your jet ski, punk. I'm taking your bass boat. And even if you beat the suit, you're not beating the ride. Man, I tell you, I'm going to tell you, this is bad.
You saw the people with the signs, though. They have an open case against Dallas police.
Hey, where's the fellow that saw them ganging up at the federal building and being commanded by the feds? Well, where's that fellow that saw that? No. It's a guy in a yellow hat. Yeah.
All right, so we went up, and what we found, we talked to the lieutenant from the Dallas police force, the actual police force, not the sheriff's district or whatever, and we said, what just happened? He said, we would never do that to anyone. We would never do that to you guys. That's the sheriff's. That's the sheriff's office. They're completely different. We would not have done that to you. And we said, yeah, you care about the First Amendment? Yeah, we do. And they were reading the Oath Keepers information, and like, yeah, we're down with this.
That cop wouldn't talk, but he looked really freaked out.
Yeah, they were actually freaked out. They were agreeing with us and saying, wow, they really did that.
Why is the sheriff's department the boss in Dallas? Because they showed up and the cops went, what are you doing? And they were like, those goons were like, to those cops. I mean, it was...
No, the sheriff's department goons were, like, telling the cops to go away so they could beat the crap out of us. And they're claiming now that that's federal property, except the event is over and we're downtown in the city.
But it's not. It's only a designated federal park on it. We were on city property.
No, we were blocks away at that point, and they were still saying, get out of here. But then the whole thing is, though, they're so afraid of a lawsuit, they scurried away. They were just literally afraid.
Don't they understand that they just literally did all this on international television?
I know, and there's how many cameras are there right now? It's everywhere. The live stream up to 1 million before, probably 2 million now that Alex Jones is getting beaten by cops. Literally someone, the massive dude was just pushing me, and I said, stop that. And he's like, yeah, you like that. He just kept pushing me. I mean, it was totally...
They would push like a weaker guy with his daughter. They were like attacking that. It was the predator evil. Listen, they're lucky that little girl didn't get her head busted up on her dad's shoulder. Sir, tell us what you saw. We're going to skip this network break. Go ahead.
I was up there up against the bicycles with you guys. Sorry, I'm so cold right now in the rain. I stepped out to take pictures because the Homeland Security Fusion bus was over there. And so I went out to get pictures of the Homeland Security Fusion bus, and then the sheriffs walked up, and they got in formation, two guys next to each other, all the way back. That's when they marched in. As soon as they marched in, they just started pushing everybody back. I watched some people get yanked by the back of the collar, and their head hit the ground, guy get pinned up against the sign. And they never asked anybody to leave. In fact, they asked us to come over there and then pushed everybody out. They brought us over to the Homeland Security corner, and then the sheriffs came in and pushed everybody out.
No, it was the DHS guy in charge of it. So the feds literally want war with the real Americans.
That's right.
I mean, this isn't... They want Tiananmen Square, folks. They tried to ban free speech, and they're mad that we did this.
If you notice, when we started screaming freedom in 1776, they actually backed off of us when we got onto those grounds. You know, we do need to assert our rights and come out here and tell them that. The American people are strong as long as we continue to stand with each other in this group like we did here today.
I'm going to give this guy a radio show. God bless you, brother. What's your name?
Matthew Short.
What do you... Why did it come out of nowhere?
I don't know. It was really weird because we were trying to get through that center street. They had us come back around the corner. And it's almost, the way I looked at it, they almost had us line up right next to the Homeland Security Fusion buses right there. And that's when the sheriffs came in, lined up. They marched in behind the police, pushed the police and us back almost.
Now we know. Yeah. That's it. You're right. It was a complete setup.
And then you say the Dallas police told you that it was sheriffs.
Yeah, they said it was. Yeah, and they said they would never do anything like that, and they're like completely flabbergasted that it happened.
Oh, let's be clear then. I said it was a Dallas police riot. It was Homeland Security commanding a literal, because, see, they think they're special. They pick, like, the goons to literally go do their dirty work for them and spy and do stuff. It's on record. And so that was a special events police. That was the national security, national event police. Like, oh, we get to do something. Here's bad people in the rain talking about free speech. Let's attack them. Look, there's little kids. I mean, my God, we got to get control of our government. Let me tell you, that sheriff needs to come out and apologize. And then maybe I won't sue them. But they don't even care. It's taxpayer money. They'll just write old ladies more tickets or do whatever.
Personally, that's what you need to do.
We have to get that sheriff out of office now.
Yeah. And we will win. I mean, we have millions on our side. Every single person here has an iPhone or some type of smart.
Let's hear what Leanne thought. Leanne McAdoo doing a great job carrying all the gear. Come on in here. Our reporter. Tell folks what happened.
Well, we were just standing there joking around, having fun, talking about the dude's mustache and the guy with the red hair. We were calling him the comedian. We were having a good time. They could tell we weren't there to cause any trouble, cause any drama. They were probably going to let us in. And then all of a sudden we see these big, like, black troops, like they're in, like, gear rolling up. Combat gear, riot gear, just rolling up on the side. And all the other cops that were just joking around with us, they're all kind of looking around like, hey, what are these guys doing here? We got this under control. It's all good. All of a sudden, they're just shoving, get back, shoving me. And I'm like, oh, my God. Gucciardi, like, grabs.
By the way, all they had to say was, you need to go. And we would have gone, okay, take us back to whoever. Tell us how things changed. We were assaulted. You were all criminally attacked. We're going to have a class action lawsuit. We're going to get to the bottom of it. Keep telling us, Leanne.
And then I turn around, and there's a little girl. She's up on her parents' shoulders, and they're pushing her, and she almost gets trampled on.
Yeah,
She's
the dad says,
crying.
please stop, and the cops attacked the kid.
Yeah, they did not care, pushing little
Those
kids.
cops could have bashed that little girl's brains out, and they'd all gotten medals.
Yeah, they were seething with the power of getting us out while we were just joking around, doing nothing, couldn't wait to go in and put on our part of the ceremony to go and say our moment of silence.
Well, they won. Now they probably don't even know that there was a lawsuit. People are supposed to be able to go in. They didn't even know. This is probably one hand not knowing what the other hand was doing.
and then they literally scurried away as soon as there was people there that were saying that, you know, stop the police brutality, mothers against police brutality. It was like a momentous, that was like, kryptonite. It was kryptonite.
That was the Deus Ex.
It was amazing. The energy was amazing. Like, even though it was very scary, it was just to feel all of these people coming together in the face of that tyranny. Like, they could have sprayed us with mace or beaten us with clubs or whatever they could have done, but no one was scared. No one was scared.
Well, this is going to end up being national news. I need everybody to email showtips@infowars.com, all your names, numbers. If you were assaulted, we're going to get lawyers. We're going to sue them. But we got to get the depositions, everything. We got to. I don't want to do it. Everybody upload the footage you got to YouTube of Homeland Security goons attack JFK demonstrators, because they were under Homeland Security. Oh, yeah. I mean, this federal government is so illegitimate, so evil. I just can't believe that I was literally, but they could also catch the mood when everybody was ready to, like, okay, you push us now, we're now, I mean, what wimps? I mean, as soon as we're ready to fight them, then they leave. They literally just came out of nowhere to assault innocent people.
They took the barricades down. Move in on us.
Right. They were like, head over this way. Who cares?
Anything else you want to add, Leanne? Darren McBreen, come here.
They did not like it when you told Homeland Security that they needed to groom the stool. They did not appreciate. That's what it was. They were like, oh, really?
That is when that Homeland Security guy left. I was making jokes about the Queen of England, how somebody wipes her hind end, how we should have that in America. Yeah. And then literally, I was making jokes about we should, like, give our children as roast to them. There was the famous essayist in England that wrote about the Irish should just give their children up to be roasted and cooked. I forget, who was the famous guy? Jonathan Swift, A Modest Proposal. And people thought it was real. Like, yes, they should. They should eat their children. So I was doing a Jonathan Swift joke. I mean, this country is, I just can't. I'm actually dumbfounded right now. McBreen, how shocking was that for you?
Well, it was pathetic, and it was shocking. I think what shocked me the most was the anger. You see, a lot of these guys, they were seriously,
so much hate.
Seriously angry at us, because I guess we are the enemy, you know.
And describe what you saw.
Well, you know, I saw it was chaos, but the one thing I witnessed, and I hope somebody got on a video. If you did, please send it to us. But there was a little girl on her daddy's shoulders. She started crying. And, you know, then her mom dragged her out of there once she got off her dad's shoulders. But that was very dramatic. And then when they came off the steps, you know, I thought they were going to fall, and she was going to fall. A lot of people were falling off the steps. They were very aggressive.
And just fall down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Elbows, you know, I mean, these guys were incredibly aggressive, and we were not, you know, I mean, until, you know, there was a lot of bad language, I guess, after
There's no jury that wouldn't find in our favor after they kept attacking us, and we'd have stomped the hell out of them.
Absolutely.
They grabbed by the collar and said, don't resist, don't resist.
By the way, this is how 1776 stuff starts, guys. I mean, you think, okay, I guess you, go ahead.
This is a wake-up call. Du wants to say something. Here we go.
Look, we need to get massive amounts of pizza to call the sheriff's office to complain, make lots of complaints. We need to get this guy out of office. That was despicable what he did to these people. We were doing nothing. They started to pull the barricades across, and I said, hey, go on me. I'm walking through the barricade. Hey, we could come this way, going over towards the grassy knoll. And then I hear David Knight, turn around, Rob, and I saw all you guys being attacked. And I ran right in there and started getting as much footage as I could, because that's the only safety we have is our cameras, and to get footage and to upload it and make this known. Oh, yeah, I had high def going the whole time. I mean, it's all there, and then after a while they started split screening and capturing it. But it is totally despicable what we saw there. And when I looked in that police chief's eyes, I said, you ought to be ashamed of your men. He goes, it wasn't me, it was the sheriff. And he's absolutely right. That's who it was. We need to go back and demand answers from this criminal. He's a criminal.
Well, listen, they knew who I was. They were looking at me like they wanted to attack me, and I suddenly was like, these are enemies. They were looking at me with hate and waiting for the order, and then they were looking around knowing because they knew what they were doing, and the guy punched me in the stomach before it all started, wanting me to, like, attack him or something. Let me tell you, you got to look into that unit. I guarantee you those cops are just filth. I mean, that was the absolute filth unit of the politicos, and I bet a phone call was made from those bleachers. You get those American scum out of there. I mean, it was amazing. Sir, did you see this happen?
I saw it. I was there, and good discipline on the crowd. Everybody maintained, you know, good demeanor and respect. I mean, there were words spoken.
Well, by the second attack.
Yeah, but, you know, by and large, everybody maintained their cool, but stayed strong. And I was really proud of the whole crowd.
What do you think was wrong with the sheriff's deputies, and why are they in command?
I have no idea. What I saw was just you and your area was just getting pushed back, and I just saw, like you said, in their eyes, they just a lot of them, at least the center mass was in it to win it, and they were very serious, and I think they were looking for somebody to come back, and I think this whole thing would have turned out very, very bad if we hadn't have kept our cool.
Well, that was the issue. Because I've been in a lot of demonstrations with the cops. Got to move you back, and they just start touching, and then if you don't, then they start pushing. This was bam, boom, knock everybody over, bust somebody's head open. And if they'd have hurt that little girl, they probably would have started shooting everybody and claiming we had guns or something. I mean, just thinking they can cover it up, but they can't do that anymore. Josh, you're not on camera, but you're back there. What'd you think of this?
It was pretty insane. They kept slamming the shoulder mount into my face. Dude got that on camera.
Yeah, you do have a bruise there.
Yeah, they kept slamming it into my face when I repeatedly said, stop slamming the shoulder mount into my face.
And you were backing up?
Backing up, yeah. Well, I mean, there were people everywhere, and they just kept slamming into my face because they didn't like that we were capturing it on footage, on film.
Yeah, these people really should move to North Korea. I am shocked. And this is going to be a big issue now. And by the way, the Dallas police, and I'm not saying they're perfect, their mouths were hanging open. See, and I hadn't figured out what had happened yet. I mean... So those sheriff's deputies are federal minions, and they are God. And so now it's the feds. That's going to be a federal civil rights lawsuit right there. I can't believe this. By the way, we actually know how to sue people. We're not even litigious. Do you won your lawsuit?
Well, I'll just say there's a settlement.
And tell them that story. The mainstream media, you're up there in Pittsburgh covering it. You're totally peaceful on a hilltop. And they go, you're not mainstream media. You're arrested. They took you to an army base.
Yeah, they used kettling tactics, pushing people up hills, and then they had cops coming from the top of the hill to grab people. And it was just an encirclement maneuver that they put on us. I can't do this with the relay. But it was totally despicable what they did there. And that was a case of there was a protest of 50 people protesting police brutality in Pittsburgh after the G20 in 2009 on September 29th. And there were 50 people in a park surrounded by 1,500 riot cops. And then more riot cops showed up, and it was total for 50 people protesting police brutality. What's the irony there? And then they just started arresting people. We were put in detention cells. And about weather like this, they brought us outside and made us sit in the rain for 6 hours.
We're out of time. We're going to come back into the next segment. We're reporting here live from this insanity, the death of liberty.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight. I'm here in Austin. Alex is in Dallas, and he's with a crowd of peaceful protesters who were just led into an area and then attacked by the sheriff's department under the leadership of Homeland Security, apparently. Alex?
Yeah, we now have reviewed videos during the break that folks shot. It was definitely the feds coming over with sheriff's deputies that are their federalized goons, and then they wanted us to fight back, basically. Now I understand, as I guess they had like some MO that if he punched me in the stomach, I would fight back or something. So I didn't do it. I didn't fall into their trap. I almost did the second time when they were chasing us around the corner, cussing at us and saying, we'll beat your ass and stuff. I was like, take off your badge. Take off your freaking uniform. I mean, I want to challenge those sheriff's deputies to an open, bare-knuckles boxing match. They can get the license. I will fight 2 of those guys. I'm serious, because normally I'm not that tough of a guy, but when a bunch of big guys try, I could stomp there. I would be able, I'm telling you, I fought 2 or 3 big guys at once before. That's when you really wake up. And I'm telling you, if they want to get an exhibition match, bare knuckles, I will get in there with one of those sheriff's deputies, and I will literally break their cheekbones and literally ram their nose off, okay? And the whole point is that I am not going to be their slave. I've never seen such cowards in my life when people are sitting around smiling, doing nothing, attacking us, and trying to get people falling over each other. Some of the cops weren't doing it, but there was the middle group and others were trying to hurt people. And then some of the other cops were like, even a couple of the sheriff's deputies. All right, let's go over this. Anyways, folks, I have literally seen evil. I mean, that's all I can say, David Knight. And I'm not sitting there being Mr. Tough Guy. I'm being honest. I mean, it is a man having cowards in uniform attacking women and children and media people who've done nothing. At a fundamental level, all my instincts are, this is the enemy, this is the red coat, this is 1776. I mean, because it's different than just having some thug try to attack you in a parking lot. That's a criminal. It's organized evil is what we're facing and what we're dealing with, David Knight.
This was a live demonstration, Alex, of the spirit of the people who assassinated Kennedy. This is a live demonstration. You see the censorship followed by the thugs coming out and beating people. That's exactly what we're up against. That's what America is facing right now. And there's a story that came out yesterday. I'm sure you probably haven't seen it, Alex, because you've been busy with what's going on up there. But they had a British Army secret terror unit called the Military Reaction Force. And these guys are coming out and confessing on television that they shot dead innocent civilians. Yeah. The guy says, we were not there to act like an army unit. We were there to act like a terror group. We were there in a position to go after the IRA and kill them when we found them. And they talk about how they drive by and shoot people at barricades when they don't have any weapons. This is exactly like that movie, The Art of Killing, where you've got these cops, these people who are with the Indonesian government, confessing to the mass murders that they had committed because they're proud of it. This is what this guy is saying. He says,
exactly, and our founding fathers knew that if we didn't have guns, we couldn't resist these guys, but we're all ready. And I would take all the special warfare people I know and all the good cops I know, one of them could defeat 10 of those thugs I saw. I'm telling you right now, they have, and I don't want a civil war to start, but my God, I'm not going to be like in Indonesia where they just go round me up and start killing me.
Absolutely.
I realize right there that these people are the enemy of freedom. I mean, there is absolutely no doubt that the Dallas Sheriff's Department and the criminal unit, this tells you about the feds. They're trying to corrupt all the police, turn them into goons and Soviets, but they haven't been able to do it, and there's a big culture in the police fighting it. We need to be clear about that. There's a big culture waking up to that and against this. But the feds don't care. They literally had a group of low IQ, moron idiots who might not even be criminals in their everyday activity, but have a criminal mindset, who literally wanted to beat up other Americans.
Yes.
And do it in a way where they had guns and they had other cops to help them if they weren't going to win. That's the opposite of what a man wants to fight tyrants and thugs in overwhelming odds. A slimebag bully wants to fight people when they've got all the odds on their side.
That's exactly
graceful crap.
That's exactly what these guys are saying. These British terrorists, these soldiers, so-called soldiers, are saying the MRF soldiers said they agreed to be interviewed on this program because they believe their role in the fight against the IRA is unrecognized. Now they get their credit. Now they get credit for driving by and shooting people who are unarmed, people that they don't know are even members of the IRS.
I want to go further. I interviewed Steak Knife and others who were British commandos at the highest levels of the IRA, commanding them to carry out attacks.
Yeah.
And the low-level IRA didn't want to commit terror attacks, so they would kneecap or kill people that didn't. Now, I haven't seen this news story. Are the guys on TV bragging they killed innocent people?
Yes.
Or are they...
Yes, wow. They're bragging about it. They say we would just drive by and we would shoot them. They said that there were situations where they had groups of people at checkpoints. They said, oh, we think they're IRA. So they would just drive by and shoot everybody at the site. So you have this one guy, Patrick McVeigh. He was killed when he was 44 in 1972. You got a guy that was 18 at the time. He's had 40 years of pain. He survived. The other people that were at the standing around, they were just, they died. So this is the kind of spirit that we see happening here. It's what we saw in the movie. I called it The Art of Killing earlier. It was the act of killing. This is a spirit in these people where they just want to kill innocent people. They get a kick out of it, and they want to be recognized for it. They want to brag about it. That was what was so riveting and disgusting at the same time about that movie. I couldn't get my head around how somebody who did this stuff...
I felt physically ill after we watched that film together.
Yeah.
With the crew. I'm going to go out here and find out what this guy, he's been out here for days with an Israeli flag. Hey, what are you doing? What's your story?
Well, I thought they were going to shoot at us. I really did. I did.
So why the Israeli flag?
That's the best army in the world, is the IDF.
Well, it is a very strong, trained military. I was just curious. We're talking to different folks. What's your take on Kennedy and what happened?
Well, the CIA killed him. He wanted to bring back the gold standard. He was printing greenbacks. He spoke at Columbia University and said that he was going to take out the mafia and the drug gangs and all that stuff. So they shot him.
Yep, good points. All right, well, good to talk to you, sir. All right, there we go, folks. Well, listen, I know you're cold. You've done a great job. And where does everybody want to break up at here?
Your motel.
All right. Well, listen, God bless you. You're awesome. Send us your emails. Kit, go file your report. And I'm going to start walking back now. I'm going to get my crew in here in the car with me. You know what? I'm going to tell Richard, who's got the car, I'm going to walk back to the hotel. No, I don't think so. But I may get on the radio. Look at Infowars.com. I may go have a protest at the sheriff's department or something. I'm freaked out right now. Well, I tell you, that was crazy. That's a good point. Here, tell, sir, I was talking to you. Tell us your first name and what you thought of what you saw.
My name is Devin. I saw a lot of things I didn't like. I saw that they're afraid of being exposed. I saw everything. I just saw that we need more people to stand up, more real men to stand up. All the tough guys, you're so tough. Be tough on this side of the battle. I saw the cops. They're crooked. I just saw everything I saw was just bad, man. We were trying to have a peaceful demonstration, but they were not peaceful. We were trying to have a peaceful demonstration, and I think it was just bad. You know, I just think we need more people to stand up.
That's what you were telling me earlier, is that you're sick of people just laying down. That's what...
Laying down, sleepwalking. Yeah, the sleepwalkers. We need somebody to wake up. America, if they do it to me, they're going to do it to you. If they've done it to me, they've already done it to you. I mean, hey, our young people, we need to wake up and see what they're trying to do in the future. They're trying to get this martial law stuff started. They're trying to put us all in FEMA camps. They want to cut our heads off. They're trying to control everything. I see it. They're waiting for that control. They want all your information, but they won't tell you theirs. They're keeping a lot of secrets. And it's time to come out. It's time to let
They're very guilty.
They're guilty. It's time to let the cat out the bag. Expose these wrong. Expose Satan. Expose it. It's time to stand up. All these preachers, all these ministers and stuff, y'all got to come from behind that. You know, all that faking, they're just doing that for money. They need to come to the real battle, the real fight. You say you stand for Jesus and all this, well, come to the battle. Get involved. You know, get your congregation involved, you know. It's just one little city right here, but, hey, it's all across. They're doing it everywhere. You know what I'm saying? We just need people to stand up, man. I'm tired of people laying down, sleepwalking, cowards, everything. I'm very passionate about this. You know, somebody else should be very passionate about this. Yes, sir. This is the future, but for your kids and grandkids and everybody. You know what I'm saying?
You're saying wake up, get up, stop sleeping. We're under attack. Absolutely.
Yes, you said it. You said it. We're under attack. Wake up, everybody. Wake up, man. We're not going to do nothing laying down. If you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything.
That's right. Laying down only makes it worse. People think laying down makes it better.
All over you. If you lay down, it's going to walk all over you until you turn over. Now let me walk on your stomach. Now let me walk on your back. Now let me walk on your head. I mean, hey, when is enough is going to be.
And people ask why, because there's bad people that like walking on people.
I just want to say I'm 24 years old, and we got young people like this coming out. We got teenagers, and it's the young people that need to be awake and aware of the tyranny that's going on. And I came out here to commemorate the death of JFK and the tragedy that happened that day. And I'm commemorating you for your free speech. And that's what we're here for, is for free speech. As you said, you wouldn't be here for the 50th anniversary if they wouldn't have tried and embarked on our free speech.
Yeah.
Are you related to these folks right here?
Need to stop playing that PlayStation and get something right.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, did you see what happened?
I came from Minnesota.
Oh, God bless you. What's your first name?
Lisa.
What was it like for your son to see that?
He was enjoying it up until, with all the cops, and all of a sudden people started getting pushed, and I had to grab him and and hold him up because people were really pushing. And
well, even though it was traumatic, this is what freedom's all about. You got a great mama to bring you down here, son.
Thank you.
What was it like to see that?
I was scared, actually. I was scared all about to fall down, actually. And I don't know what to say.
No, it's okay. But there were some of the policemen. You weren't scared of them. They weren't mean men. But what did you think when the other men came? Were they good men or bad men?
I think good men.
The men pushing us were good men?
No, I know.
No, the other police were good guys. But what did you think of the men that were pushing you?
Bad.
What do you want to say to them?
I don't know.
Well, hey, you have been out on the front lines of liberty, my friend. And that's almost extinct in this country. So God bless you.
Thank you.
Good job. Thank you.
Alex Jones, thank you for being here.
No, God bless you. Nobody thank me.
Y'all be safe on y'all's
all these
travel.
thugs, they got this Xbox and PlayStation, all these games. You're sitting up there being a thug playing these games. You need to get into the real fight about your freedom and your future. Everybody's doubting, oh, they can't do this, they can't do that. Okay, keep sitting back saying what they can't do. They're already doing it. You know what I'm saying? They just did it, you know. All these guys and people just wasting time and looking at all this other stuff on the internet. There's some real things you can look. It's not a conspiracy. It's the truth. It's not the truth. It's the truth when you can prove it. If you prove it, it's the truth.
Stop being a spectator.
Stop being a spectator.
Get in the
join in.
Get in the stadium.
Stand up, all you.
Get in the stadium.
Thugs, stand up. Y'all stand up.
Ma'am, what did you think about what you saw?
That was like the Twilight Zone. There was definitely a difference in energy between the blue and the black. When the black line came up, I thought, okay, that's cool, because you guys did not change your demeanor and your attitude.
They all looked angry and hateful.
Yeah, but I didn't suspect they would do anything because they were not being provoked. There was no provocation.
For those that just joined us, we're down here. It's a JFK coverage, 50th anniversary. We marched on it for First Amendment because the mayor said there was no free speech in Austin. I mean, in Dallas. I'm pretty tired, folks. Sorry. And then all of a sudden, we had this bizarro Homeland Security people over at the federal building bring over these sheriff's deputies who had removed their badge numbers off their Velcro, and then they attacked us, and they were like pinning people up against walls. One guy, who was the guy that I saw where they, because I was right behind the Native American fella, they shoved him real hard for no reason, ran him into another guy, and then that guy saw it and shoved him back into the other cop as an excuse to attack somebody. Where is that fella that they attacked? Come on over here. Tell us your name again. Chris?
Yes, sir.
So I saw that happen to you. You're not doing anything. You're walking backwards. They're shoving you faster than you can walk. And then they ram you into that other big, tall black cop, and then he turns around, sees it, and then shoves you back and then threatens you. I mean, this is just idiocy. You attack people, and then they fall over, and then you attack them again.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was really amazed that this was going on, and I saw the look in their eyes, as you said, and they were bent on crushing us if they could. And when he pushed me into another cop, who then shoved me from behind and spun me around, and literally I was like, whoa, what is going on here? And I asked him what his name was. His name was Officer Welch. He wouldn't give me his badge number. And
my whole issue is, though, their desire to crush us absolutely lit big fires of liberty in my heart. I have never been more absolutely dedicated now to redouble my efforts and get totally serious and focus my life in defense of liberty. And I salute all of you that came out here today. You're incredible. All right, come over here, brother.
For the Operation Paul Revere contest, I attempted to organize a march in Dallas the day before and on the anniversary in Austin, and I spent nearly 2 weeks.
I remember you called in and you were on Facebook.
For nearly 2 weeks, I tried to coordinate with multiple offices in the city of Dallas, and they did absolutely everything they could to keep me from doing my march. They told me things like I couldn't cross railways and other ludicrous excuses to not give me a permit to have a march.
See, we didn't get a permit.
No, sir.
That's why we don't. The permit is only to screw you over.
That's right.
You don't need a permit unless you're blocking streets. They only make you get it so they can deny it.
And whenever I was in the Capitol building for 5 days walking around, whenever I would talk about InfoWars or Alex Jones, you should have seen the looks on those people's faces. Some of the senators, some of their people in the offices would just gasp and look at me like I'm a terrorist or I'm some bad man because...
Well, that's because they're criminals. They've taken over, and they want to loot everybody, and they're scared of people that know they're criminals.
And last night after the march, as I was going back to my truck, I had a Dallas police officer follow me, and whenever I was going to walk away, I was coming over here to the Omni Theater, to the Omni...
Well, that's because you're wearing a tri-corner hat. That's what the terrorists wear.
He called in multiple units, and they came in and were casing my vehicle, and I tried to ask him, because I saw that he was trying to do something. I went up to him, and I was in plain clothes. I'd already taken my outfit off. And I tried to ask him, sir, am I legally parked here? I was right at the edge of a no parking zone, and I was asking him, can I park here after...
I notice how we always say sir to them, and they just look at us. I don't think we should call them sir anymore when they act like thugs. We should call them control freaks.
You know what he said to me, Alex? I asked him, can I legally park here after dark? He said, did you pay for a meter? I was like, well, no, sir, there are no meters. And he said... well, I'll let you figure that out. I'll let you think about it and figure it out. And I'm asking him, sir, I want to know if I'm breaking the law. And he would not give me an answer.
That's because you're American scum.
I saw him at the barrier, and I gave him eye contact, and he gave me a smug look, and I smiled real big at him, and he knew who I was.
He was one of the guys that attacked you.
He was actually an African-American cop with a beanie on. He had a little mustache, but after I smiled at him, he walked away and ran back to some of his superiors.
Man, what a weird culture. I mean, God, I don't want to live in North Korea, man. I'm here to tell you, I just... throw some positivity. Well, the positive thing is we came down here and we took it over, and they're mad.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I woke up about 2 years ago, and since then, like, if you're consistent with Facebook, Twitter, constantly talking about the establishment and, you know, the wrongdoings that these cops are doing every day to our civil liberties, people are waking up. Like,
They are. We're going to break. We'll come back to you on the other side. Live from Dallas, Police State America. Stay with us.
And if you're just joining us, the Dallas police allowed Alex and other protesters into the area that they had cordoned off. And then the sheriff's department came out and unprovoked and without warning attacked Alex and the other demonstrators there. And Alex is still talking to the demonstrators, and they're sharing their stories. Alex, back to you.
That's right. And just to get it clear, we're here in Dallas, Texas. About 250 people showed up this morning. It's probably about 40 people now out here freezing. It's gotten colder. And to be clear, COPA and other groups were filing a lawsuit. And the judge said, look, Mayor, you can't not let people hand out flyers. You can't let them not have signs. You can say during the service, no bullhorns within that area. And but bye guys. But when the service is over, you are to let them into the general area, but not into the actual center of Dealey. And then at 2:30, they're going to let people in there for their own ceremony, whoever wants to come in, because you have to give the public access to public areas. The Dallas police were like, oh, yeah, we do know about that. Let us make some calls. Took them 30 minutes. They had it looked like the high-level police, not even the police chief. Point is, they were all out there making phone calls. Everybody's running around. In fact, pull up the Dallas police chief for me. I don't know what he looks like. I think they were calling him chief. And they go, yeah, go on in. That's fine. You're right. So we go in. We're over there bullhorning, joking. Oh, it's kind of cold. You ready to go? Yeah, I don't want to wait till they let us in at 2:30 through the second checkpoint. We're sitting there being real friendly, talking to the cops and everything. But they still look freaked out, some of them. And then all of a sudden, there was a Homeland Security guy comes over. He's giving them orders, saying stuff. We're not on federal property. We're right off the edge of it. They make jokes. The federal building's next door. And then the witnesses, multiple witnesses saw it. They go over, line up these sheriff's deputies in black uniforms, obviously the goon squad, like, a bunch of big cops. And they have them run over all like they're about to get in a fight. Like a pirate ship was pulling up, and everybody goes, ooh, what's this? I go, they're friendly. Everything's fine. They probably just don't know that we're supposed to be in here now. Guy walks over like he wants to attack me, gives me this criminal look. Every instinct in me says, man, this is the enemy of my family. This is what endangers my children. This is what I need to fight. This is evil. Just like in other types of your life, a criminal walks around about to mug you, you go, that's a criminal. They have that look. This was a Satanist. This was scum. This was an enemy of everybody good. And my whole soul, and the guy punched me in the stomach, and then they started the whole deal. And he didn't push me. He like, knowing people are looking around, looks around like, what's that? Pow, hits me in the stomach. Then they start shoving people over, wanting to hurt people, wanting to get people hurt, not letting people, go. And then we went around the corner, and then they ran back up wanting a fight. And suddenly the crowd, I could feel the crowd. We were about to attack. I actually got up front, and I said, all right, that's it. And I was handing the microphone, and then they clicked and stopped and backed off. Like the minute they realized, because they would probably would have shot a bunch of us, too. And these are terrorists. I mean, these are people that have got to be in control. They're mentally ill. They're control freaks, and it was totally sick. And I just couldn't have men attacking folks with children and women. I just couldn't put up with it. I mean, it was incredible to see the criminality. Do you have any comments on what you saw?
When I come up on a group of police, and they was talking about back and forth saying, well, we don't really know what to do. We'd never got any real instructions on what to do in this situation. I mean, and so one cop.
The deputy police chief let us in. It's in the newspaper we're supposed to be in here. Or maybe the chief. I don't know what he looks like.
They just said, we're going to go ahead and step aside and let them do their thing. And then they all stepped aside, and then everybody came on in. And I was just blown away.
And then we were just standing there doing nothing, doing a broadcast. And they just flipped out on us. I mean, this is the mental illness of government. Anything else, man?
Yeah, and I actually talked to not the chief, but the lieutenant under the chief, and he was on his cell phone talking about, because I was handing out Oath Keeper cards, And he says, yeah, as long as he's not on his bullhorn while the screen is going on, we're all good. You know, you guys are being peaceful.
Then that was after. And then after the bullhorn thing was, hold on, we're going to go into overdrive here in just a moment. They got to go to break. We're coming back, ladies and gentlemen, 104.1 in Dallas. We're live. We're thought criminals who think we can assemble in America. Imagine the evil of it. And then they have taught us a lesson.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
In the last 50 years, iodine has been phased out of our staple foods and replaced with the halogen bromine, a practice now banned in nations around the world. Guess what else is in the halogen family? Fluoride. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. In 1924, the federal government did the right thing and encouraged salt producers to add iodine. It's the good back on air here. Great job, everybody. We're now commercial free. And, man, I tell you, I have... All right, folks, we are back live here, now commercial free, transmitting worldwide over the Internet. We're no longer on the AM and FM stations, but we're on the Internet. And I tell you, one instinct tells me leave Dallas now. The other instinct tells me try to organize a bunch of people to go to the sheriff's department. I mean, we need to go, not be lazy, and find out the names, the info, and I got so much going on, so much work to do, but I got to sue them for this. I mean, because if I don't, they think they want it. I told that cop I'm going to sue him, that sheriff's deputy, who was a total screwball and who wanted to physically attack everybody and who wanted us to fight back so they could really hurt us. They probably told him, you all get bonuses if you go down there and get that dumb Jones out of there, that filth. Thinks she can steal on the street. We're going to make this whole place like China, like Tiananmen Square, where you can't demonstrate anywhere. Filthy Americans. Going to deal with, we're going to run and everything. You got a narcotics trafficking, money laundering, murdering government with big mega banks laundering hundreds of billions of drug money a year. Absolutely, totally on record. And it just gets more and more insane by the minute. And I was so happy that it was all basically over and I could go take a hot shower and eat some food and everything else. And then no. Then they had to come do that. Absolutely insane. Hey, we ought to go back down to Dealey Plaza now. I'm kind of cold, but I bet it's open now. I mean, absolutely insane, ladies and gentlemen. David Knight, you're in there. Why don't you take over for a few minutes while I walk here?
Well, you know what we're seeing here is the importance of the press. And let's go back to some words from JFK, because this is what is happening today. It's the 50th anniversary of their assassination of JFK. And 2.5 years before he was killed, shortly after he took office, he had this to say to the American Newspaper Publishers Association, same people that would just roll over and lay down after he was killed. He said, our press was protected by the First Amendment, the only business in America specifically protected by the Constitution, not primarily to amuse or entertain, not to emphasize the trivial and sentimental, not to simply give the public what it wants, but to inform, to arouse, to reflect, to state our dangers, we just saw the dangers there, and our opportunities, to indicate our crises and our choices, to lead, mold, educate, and sometimes even anger public opinion. And if you're not angry about what you just saw happen on live TV, there's something wrong with you. Made me very angry. And I know the people that are there with Alex are very angry about what was done to them by the sheriff's goons under the direction, apparently, of Homeland Security.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt it was Homeland Security. Now we have put all the pieces together. Homeland Security literally decided they didn't like the Dallas Police Department's decision to follow the lawsuit and the judge that we were to be let in after the thing. Again, we weren't even in Dealey Plaza yet. It was through the first checkpoint. So they decided to countermand. This is about a 95%, 90% chance, because we've got all the pieces, and we talked to police on and off record. We're actually pretty freaked out. I was kind of yelling at the Dallas cops, and they were like really freaked out, going, "We didn't do this." But the whole point is that the feds countermanded that and just ordered a group of idiots, I guess, to try to get in a fight with us or something. And I'm glad I didn't do anything. But man, God, I just can't. Running into people like that really freaks you out, and it really makes me where I'm just got to tell America, folks, you got to get firearms, you got to get trained how to use them, and you got to fight politically to try to fix everything as best we can. But in the final equation, you know, I got to really quote Malcolm X that in the final equation, I'm not going to a FEMA camp. I'm not a slave, and any means necessary in defense of liberty. I'm telling you right there, I'm not letting guys like that come to my house and take me to some FEMA camp where they can rape me and torture me and hurt my family. I mean, I'm not. I mean, and let me tell you, folks, that's where this country's going. Nobody denies it. It is authoritarian. It is time to get armed and get trained and get ready. Because I'm telling you, they got criminal units that hate America and that hate freedom and that hate decency and who are just foaming at the mouth scum.
Alex,
who those people are my enemy. That's all I can say. All my instincts, everything. I have seen the enemy, ladies and gentlemen. It isn't in Russia. It isn't in China. It's right here. It's taken over, and it's crazy, and it's mentally ill. That doesn't mean all the police, folks, but the police better everywhere, I don't know, wear a sticker or something on their armband or something that they're with America or a George Washington pen or something and act with respect towards citizens that they want respect back. Because we didn't do anything. We were very nice for most crowds. I'd put us in the top 10% of a friendly crowd, and we were treated pretty good by the Dallas police, and everything was fine. And then we ran into these mad dog lunatics, and I tell you, I've got to sue them. And it's not a threat. I don't want to sue those idiots. I don't need their money, taxpayer money. They'll just write old ladies and broke moms more tickets. I am absolutely flabbergasted and mind blown by the goonishness. You can look at the cops' eyes. Like, most of these cops weren't goons, but some of the Dallas cops have that crazy look in their eye like they're trying to intimidate you. And it's just, like, ridiculous that they weren't tough when they were kids or something. I mean, I don't claim to be the toughest guy in the world, but I grew up here in Dallas, and I've been in the hospital probably 6-7 times from, like, really brutal fights. And, I'm not glad of some of the things I did defending myself, but as a man, I don't want to go around starting fights with people all day. I just don't understand it. And it's so unnatural to not be able to fight a bunch of cowards that are ganged up on you. It's just absolutely fundamental what I just saw, and absolutely blew my mind that they acted like that. And now look, it's now open. We're back here like an hour later, and the streets are all open. Everything's completely open like it was supposed to be. There was and they just did this to us all because they felt like it. All because they just wanted to attack us for no reason. It was completely insane. Hey, how you doing, guys? Hi, what's your name? Listen. Pardon me? Charlie. Hey, I'm Alex Jones. Listen, I don't mean to bug you here, but we had some sheriff's deputies assault us earlier right here. I'm sure you've heard about it. And okay, where do we so is the sheriff's department in charge down here? No, I understand, but we were assaulted. I mean, if I saw a mugging, if I came and told you, would you do anything?
We're trying to do this here.
But since I'm mentioning sheriff's deputies assaulting us, it doesn't even matter? Okay, where do I file that?
You can go to the sheriff's department, and they have their...
So I go to them. No, they did this in Dallas.
I understand what you're saying.
And I'm not going to go to their internal affairs. It's law they have to file a criminal complaint.
No, you have to go through the process and go through their internal affairs, okay?
Nope, that's not how it works. See, that's the big trick with cops. They go, you just go to us. No, what you do is you go to the grand jury. But first, for everybody listening in Dallas, you go, and then you try to file the criminal complaint that you were assaulted. They refuse it. Then they become parties to the criminal complaint. And then you saw that woman's imperious attitude when we're like, hi, we were assaulted by sheriff's deputies here. We'd like to file a report on that. She goes, you go to them. So Hitler should have been the judge at Nuremberg over him. Hitler should have been the head judge over the Nazis, judging them. Did you hear about all the craziness? Oh, wow. Well, hi, ma'am, what did you think about what you saw? We'll just leave it at that.
I thought that it was a very sad day that the police, or rather the sheriff's office, would openly be so aggressive when really we're just enacting our First Amendment rights. And, for instance, I, who am incredibly not aggressive, was just walking along, and the sheriffs, I would say 3 different sheriffs, came up and they, may I demonstrate on you? They went like this. You have to look down. They literally just went, like that. And I said, hey, don't push me. And they said, keep moving. And I said, I am moving. And they said, turn around. And I was like going, well, I You know, I'm walking, I'm moving, and then again, separate, two other ones push me like that. I'm sorry, I keep shoving it. And it just seemed to me like, why would you be so aggressive? Why can't you just say, okay, everyone, you know, would you mind just going over here? Excellent on your First Amendment rights. How about you stand over there, because we've been told by Homeland Security or whoever told them that you can't be here. Like, why can't they be truthful? Why can't they be polite? Why can't they just be calm? Why do they have to be aggressive? I mean, I was doing nothing, and in fact, when everyone was shouting and going crazy, I mean, to be honest with you, with all love and respect, I also felt that it's wrong to shout at the police, you slaves, you scumbags, because I feel, honestly, I feel sorry for them, because I can't believe that all of them are just dead in the head. I just can't believe that.
Sure, well, let's recap from what you saw being here today for the last 2-3 hours. Then we come over, it's over. There's been lawsuits filed. They had to let us in. The Dallas police said, yes, you're allowed to go in to the first perimeter, not into the final one. Then that was open for a private wreath laying for folks that don't agree with the official story. So we were supposed to be let in. They let us in. The Dallas police did. And then Homeland Security sent over their auxiliary federalized sheriff's deputies. Well, that's what happened there. Did you notice how they came in and ordered the other cops to stand back?
You know, I wasn't looking at that. I was actually looking at each police with my sign, with my First Amendment. And I was just trying to gently smile at them, like going, hey, this is for you too, you know. This is for everyone that you love and care about, and you too, because there isn't a police state that's ever been on this planet where everyone didn't get their ass burnt when it really got going. I mean, Hitler's regime, all the original people that were in the government or helping him, you know, in Russia, Stalin, his mates that helped him get it. I mean, you know, you think they might learn that it doesn't actually work. Tyranny just begets more tyranny until everyone's just shooting and killing each other, and it's a terrible mess, and then, thank God, it ends. And I personally, I'm just desperate for the things that are beautiful and wonderful and exalted about the American people. It should reign in this country again, instead of the incredibly obvious criminality that's going on here. I mean, it's like, you know, you'd have to be deaf, dumb, and blind to not see what's happening. So I'm just really proud of everyone here. I don't agree that all the police are slaves. I think that they're under incredible pressure to behave.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, to behave in a way where I believe that at a certain point they're going to stop behaving that way. And I don't know what will happen then. I guess the National Guard or some other lunatics will come in and kick our heads in. But, I mean, you know, okay, bring it on. But the change must come. And I'm praying for it.
Sure, you know, I'm not looking for physical stuff. I want them to be free and happy. But, I mean, I got punched in the stomach first. And so they was all targeted by Homeland Security. Now that I'm not emotional, then I gave in and let them be mean to me and shove some guy's head over and over again into that and punch some person and almost knock a little girl into the ground. But then they chased us around past the barricades and attacked us again.
No, but that's the thing is that why do it? They're supposed to be peace officers, not guys being intimidating, pushing a woman who is doing nothing but doing what they're saying, shoving me in a way that if I was in a bar and I was 6'2" and a man, I'd probably get in a fight. It's like, it's ridiculous. I know. Sorry, what? Yeah, I know, but this is the big deal. When do you actually take on your own ability to think for yourself, even if you're in a position where you're supposed to take orders? When's that point arrive? And that's the point that these police officers need to get to, which is why I feel sad when you guys scream at them, you slaves, you fuckers, you bastards. You know, it's like, I just wish that actually, seriously, I mean, I thought about doing it and then I got shy, but I just felt like saying, listen, I don't know what you're thinking, but please stand up for what's right. They surely know what that is. We're just talking about First Amendment stuff.
Well, by the way, the Dallas police, when they came over, were like, what are you doing? They told them to let them in. And the point was that was ordered by the feds, yeah.
That's just crazy.
Federal building's right there.
Crazy. Well, anyway, listen.
Here's the top police. Here, hold on. I'm going to go talk to them. No, stay here. Good to see you. No, just stay there. I'm going to talk to you some more. Hold on. I'm going to go talk to him right here. Hey, just the guys I want to talk to. Sir, what's your name? Where do I file about the sheriff's department that was here? Oh, come on, you can talk to it. Because we can't go. So the sheriff's department's in charge here because they assaulted us when the Dallas police let us in. We were supposed to be let in, as you know, sir. Oh, come on, you can talk to. You're not ignoring us because we're
in private property.
Silence is complicity.
Oh, private property. What is this, city property? Well, you're on private property. The imperious nature. I don't know who that guy is. Private property. The Dallas Police Department is private property.
Can you hear me, Alex?
Masters.
Can you hear me, Alex?
Yes, David Knight.
I got to say, when I'm watching this on television, one of the things that has really been making me angry all day is the attitude we just saw from that cop you tried to talk to. And this is going on yesterday as well. You walk up to them, you ask them a polite question, they just ignore you like you're not even there, like you're treating you like you're trash.
Exactly.
It's that kind of arrogant attitude, and that's what's behind all this stuff. That's what we've been seeing. I'm not surprised at all to see these guys come out and attack you. They don't treat you with any respect. They have no respect for the public.
I agree. Finishing up your point, I'm sorry I broke that off when they walked by. David Knight, my co-host, was just pointing out the imperious nature. I was very polite. I wanted to say I was assaulted, and he literally knew about it because I saw him looking at us out the window all day and pointing at me and waving when he was up there. That same police officer, the guy with 2 stars on his thing, means he rules a third world country. But the point. No, I know. He used disinfo. He said public parking just to get me to leave him alone, like I wasn't allowed to be there, and then shoved my hand away.
Alex.
Sure.
Why do you think they are frightened of talking to you? Because that's clearly what that is. That's fear, inhibition, unwillingness to communicate. What's that about? Why are they? I mean, maybe that's not a question you can answer, but...
No, I know why. Because they're in such a controlled culture of compartmentalization and being dominated. They just are in a position where they can dominate people under them. They get dominated from above. It's all hierarchical. And
right, but imagine that you say to him, could you explain to us why the following, whatever your question might be. Why can't he stand there? He is a public servant. He is a peace officer, right? A peace officer, a servant of the public. Why can't he communicate with you?
That's because they've put military occupation rules in where no one's allowed to talk but the public spokespeople, so it dehumanizes them. Just like they tell soldiers now, even when you're off duty in civilian clothes, don't be political, don't say what you believe in if you're against the war. Even though as a citizen the law says you're allowed to, they intimidate.
Freedom of speech, even for them. What's
That's right.
That?
Well, here, tell us.
Well, no, I mean, why don't the police have freedom of speech? Why can't they offer their opinion? They're individuals. They have individual rights. Why should they be dominated by hierarchical instruction? Now that, to my mind, if they're peace officers, if they're public servants and citizens, they should be permitted to give their opinion. So who is it that's forbidding them to speak? Honestly, I just think that they're frightened to speak, probably because of what you were saying, that they have just an incredible peer pressure on them, or more like an officer ranking pressure, where they are told you are not allowed to talk about this. I don't see why they shouldn't. They're citizens. They have every right to speak. Their police, as individuals, should not be shut up. Why should they?
Well, I mean, you talked about throughout history what happens to countries when these police states come in and tyrannies. It just gets worse and worse. In fact, I'm going to steal that quote. Tyranny begets tyranny. I'll give you credit if you want me to, but or I'll sit there and take the credit and say I came up with it. I'm joking. But the point is that tyranny begets tyranny.
And then it just spins out of control. Thank fucking God. Excuse my expression. Because then otherwise we'd be just under permanent tyranny. But tyrannies always end, not before there isn't a great deal of suffering. And I'm just hoping that through technology, the internet, the incredible, wonderful, good work that you guys do, and other, independent newscasters and individuals who talk about this and try and do things on a very grassroots level, I'm really hoping we can circumvent what seems to be almost a turnkey totalitarian state that we are just, doesn't Obama just have to call martial law and then that's it?
Well, he's already doing most stuff by executive order outside of Congress, and they've put in the internet kill switch, the total surveillance grid. They call the spy systems they've put in the battle grid. What's it called, David? You were reading it today? The battle grid, that particular spy system that the police use, yeah, it's the battle grid. And,
it's called the BattleNet Inside.
BattleNet, yeah. And it's battle with us. It's not battle with criminals. They all skim the money off the top of that. I mean, it is just incredible. I got to say, Austin police are not anywhere as arrogant as these guys. And Dallas police aren't as bad as a lot I've seen. But, man, I tell you, Dallas citizens need to start acting like humans around the police because it's really gone to their head. I mean, a lot of these cops, some of them I can tell are listeners and wave at me and stuff, but some of them are serious mental patients. Can you imagine just walking around in a uniform feeling powerful because you're part of a power structure?
Well, I think, unconsciousness is something people really need to understand. I think, people assume that everyone is fully in their own skull and present and attending life, but I think a lot of people are so profoundly disengaged, so out of communication, that they really just fall beneath a certain level of awareness, so that I don't think they're capable of actually seeing what's going on around them and making a choice for themselves that they should do a certain thing. In other words, a good thing. So anyway, that's my own.
And we were here an hour ago being attacked, and here we are now, it's all opened up. But they were supposed to open it up, and then they were just waiting for a call, even though it had already all been decided. We were following what was agreed upon. One of the head cops called and goes, yeah, that's true, let him in. And then the Homeland Security, the federal building, the same federal government taken over 50 years ago today, they literally ordered auxiliary police for special unit over to attack us and tried to start a fight, but they failed, and now the info is going out. In closing, asking you questions here, ma'am, talking to the folks that are out here, what is your overall view of the state of the world, the whole world government, the whole cybernetic systems, the whole technocracy? It is a turnkey takeover. What do you think the end game of the rulers are? Because everything I see them doing is trying to suppress human consciousness and awakening, because they know there's an awakening happening, in my view. What's your take on that?
Well, actually, it just makes me think of There Will Be Blood. Did you ever see that film?
Excellent film.
Right. I can't remember the director's name. Say John Paul Johnson something. Yep. Yeah, brilliant. I think that one has to understand that anyone that's attracted to that level of power, I think, is already in a kind of disease state. Very few people would ever want to get to that level of domination, power, and to get to that place, you have to do a lot of really, I think, pretty bad things. So once those people get there, and once they get that kind of power, I think that that's what you're looking at is insanity. You're just looking at individuals who are insane and so mangled in their souls that they actually have no love or appreciation for the rest of humanity. And I think that is what's happening on this planet, that those individuals have gotten to that level of power, and I think they, keep on going, like the Rockefellers. I don't know how they manage to keep, spawning more evil creatures, but they do, and up they stay and sit on all of us, and it's repeated itself so many times throughout history. It's just now technology has given them a kind of an omnipotence that is terrifying, and that's why laws do have to be put in place. And when people say, like in England, they say, well, as long as you're behaving yourself, you've got nothing to worry about, but they don't understand that's such a simplistic viewpoint, because the very people that are protecting both intellectual, domains, artistic domains, are the first ones who are going to fall victims to that system. Yeah, of course, if you're just, running a shop, and you mind your own business, no one's going to come get you. But the people that really keep society moving, keep art free, and really expressing what needs to be expressed, they're the first ones to get it in the back of the neck. And it's not in the kind of obvious way that it used to be, where you just get poisoned, stabbed, or whatever. You get sort of like intimidated, or you get dropped out of a circle of artists that would have otherwise been, backed with money, or you won't get spoken about in the newspaper. I mean, it's a very subtle way of just eliminating you from the scene. But when you have those monitoring systems that we, like the NSA, thank God for Edward Snowden. Bless his heart. Jesus. I mean, I can't imagine the embarrassment. Oh, that was the other thing. How about Obama putting, what's his name? James, what's his face? At the head of the NSA?
Oh, absolutely. James Clapper.
Right. In charge of the independent committee that's going to investigate the NSA.
That's like having Hitler over Nuremberg, but expanding on those key points you're making, because you're really on target with that. The bad guys want all the intel so you can't expose their criminal operations, and they use the intel on you, like Google sells the data it's coming out to all the shops online, so that when you go to a shop, they know you have more money. The cookie shows it, the prices are higher. Like, I could do that with my shopping cart. I could buy that data, that metadata they call it, from Google, that cookie data, and then when they come to the Infowars.com shop, it would have a higher price. No, I'm serious. That's one example of what the Panopticon technology can do.
What did you say, Panopticon?
It's a French term, for the round prison, and then they would have a tower where the guards could always watch you. Panopticon, panopticonic.
Oh, well, I think the crucial thing is that we have to, as individuals, really, really support the Constitution, because that is the most unique. Nowhere else has it, really. I think maybe different countries have copied it. It's the most unique declaration of real spiritual rights. And it is a spiritual thing. I mean, how many of us, have different opinions? But the bottom line is that real independence, freedom of thought, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, with a great regard to helping and being of service. Because I don't think, people should just feel free that they can just go around and clock people on the head and go, yeah, well, I'm free. I'm going to clock people on the head.
No, it's libertarian. You're free to do everything you want until it hurts somebody else or crosses onto there. But, I mean, this is like Clockwork Orange, though, because they are hiring the criminals to be the police now. What we saw today, not all of them, but that key group at the middle that attacked first, I mean, that was definitely like Ben Grimm or whatever his name is.
I have to tell you, I just felt really sad when I saw them turn up. I just thought, really? It's going to come to this? We're talking about the First Amendment? Actually, I want to just say, there was a New Zealand TV lady that was there yesterday, and I stood behind her with my sign with the First Amendment. She said, don't stand there, you're blocking everything. And I said, well, I'm just stand back here. And anyway, we got into a little thing over it, and she didn't want me to be in the picture with her. And she said, look, I'm not having some lunatic stand behind me with a sign. I said, lunatic? I said, I'm defending the First Amendment. It's like the assumption that to be out here expressing yourself is an act of lunacy. I would say that's a pretty good indication of how totally distorted reality has become for the people who are supposed to be defending truth, right? Reporters.
Sure, it absolutely shows. It shows how far we've gone. But the problem is I know I got to get it so close because it's set. I know. I'm so tired now I can hardly walk. Anyways, any other final points you'd like to make? Because those are really a lot of thought-provoking things you're saying. I believe there's an awakening happening. I see it. The system's scared, and so that's why they are really trying to suppress us. And it's just more key than ever that everybody start resisting in little ways, lovingly, but also aggressively when we have to, so that there's no way they can stop all of us. It's essential to stop the evil from totally taking over, because you can see it's trying to take over because it can see the end is near.
Yeah, I think the important thing that you're outlining here is that people have to learn how to confront evil and not to alter it or to lessen it and to somehow, go, well, I'm sure they didn't mean to push you. It's like, well, you need to face, you need to confront and really properly look at what's happening and not try and explain it away or give it justifications or anything, because at this juncture we still, by our fingernails, have the chance to make a difference and turn this around, and to not take part and to just watch. I mean, it's a little scary, believe me. I was a little scared when those sheriffs turned up, but if you don't stand there and push back, not in a stupid, aggressive way, but if you don't push back, if you don't face it and confront it for what it is, it'll just take over, and then no one will be free.
Well, you're right, and the power structure's made the calculation that we're cowards, we've given up, we're going to roll over. They do stuff like that so people don't come out and demonstrate against wars. What happened at the G20? They do that so people see people being attacked, they get scared, so that they can then take over everybody's freedom. That's why you've got to go out and do this and face the fear and get through it. It's actually kind of fun to fight tyranny, so why not? So that they understand that they've miscalculated and that it's going to backfire. But tyrants always miscalculated. Even though they have this mind of God, Google, NSA spy grid, they're not gods. They can't they can't read that info because they're so evil. How could they, who are so unenlightened, ever think that they could read all the data they're getting? Because the data only shows that their system's already failing.
I would just like to add that I think to describe it as evil is to give it certainly an adjective to describe it. It certainly results in evil. But I think the important thing is it's an incredible degree of insanity, because only insanity would breed acts that are so destructive and harmful. And, you know, when you think of the destruction of animals and the environment and the corporations that just seem to gaily, you know, stride forward through every decade, destroying everything.
Why aren't they even worried about Fukushima now when it's melting down even worse? They don't even care anymore. 91% of the reactors are leaking.
Insanity. Look, if you're really insane, you have no grasp or care for what's going on. And I think that's what this is. It's like organized insanity. And I think people need to recognize that and realize there's a lot more sane people. I would say there's probably about, you know, billions of sane people on this planet, and just a very few nutters. And it's those nutters that have to be regulated, because obviously one can't just sort of like blow them off the face of the earth, which, you know, I wish a couple of angelic beings would come along and go, "Ooh, you're really crazy, right, off the planet you go." But
those bad guys are here to test us.
I've no idea, but what I would really like is regulations and laws, because those work pretty well. Right now, we've had those laws and rights and the Constitution blown away by the, you know, Patriot Act.
That's right. They've gotten rid of the good laws and put in all the tyranny.
Right, and I think that we've got to try really hard and pay attention and spend an hour maybe every day looking online and, hey, let me help you. And actually, you know, do your research.
Look, you know what you're doing with that equipment.
I do, but that was just a cable. Anyway, I just really implore people to really just pull their finger out and do a little bit of work. That's your job now. You know, it's a new job. It's not enough to be a citizen, because there's too much organization to dismantle your position as a citizen. You have to do something different now. What?
Oh, that's key. They're trying to dismantle our real citizenship and our machinery of freedom. And so what do?
I think we actually have to take on, and this is the hard part, everyone, you're going to have to operate using your own awareness, your own, you have to think for yourself, and you have to dig down deep into your soul and work up enough courage to do things about it. Even if it's just you sign some petitions, you listen to Alex, you know, for instance, The Guardian. What's his face? Granwell. I mean, that guy.
They may arrest him when he gets back to the U.S.
I don't know what to say other than it's just so insane.
Everybody should be rallying around him.
Yes, absolutely. Edward Snowden, I love you. I think you're an incredibly brave man, and anyone who says you that you aren't patriotic, well, you're not thinking for yourself if you say he's not patriotic, because he's actually... Look, the German government, right? They've all issued themselves encrypted cell phones now. Even they're bloody pissed off at being monitored.
Well, that's the thing. You get rid of checks and balances and freedom, it always blows back. The tyrants, you don't escape it. You've got to give everybody a respect and liberty and freedom, so your kids have it too. When someone robs your neighbor's freedom, they're robbing your freedom. Do you want to remain anonymous or say your first name?
Yeah, I would say actually, I already got interviewed a few times. My name is Vivian Kubrick. My father was Stanley Kubrick. I live here in Dallas, and I think I have enough experience from that aspect of being Stanley Kubrick's daughter to know that there are really some things that you have to fight very hard for. And my father's an artist, fought very hard for the integrity of his films, because even he was subject to a lot of pressure to not make the films he made.
You were talking about some of that last night over dinner, but that's why, I mean, I know you've been interviewed before by the media. You're obviously a famous filmmaker in your own right, and I love that score that you did on Full Metal Jacket. That's my favorite ever. That's so haunting. But I didn't want to, you know, politically, I was going to put this out. Folks would have recognized who you were, but yeah, greatest directors ever, daughter, director on her own right, doing an amazing job. What would your dad, I know you're taking that question, but I'd love to know, what would your dad, with his great artist mind, to see real reality, what would he think about what America's turned into? Because his films predicted it.
Well, I was saying to you last night, I feel that my father was very haunted by those factions on this planet that try to manipulate humanity. I think the films that he made, he wanted people to think for themselves, experience for themselves, whatever it meant to them. But I would say that if you look at every film he made, it certainly addressed all these things that we're speaking about. I mean, Clockwork Orange, thought control, you know, anti-war films, the fact that war is just pure slaughter, that it's got nothing to do with any of the usual things that they send people out.
Dr. Strangelove?
Yellow. Yes, Dr. Strange.
Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah, and really, when you look at it, those films all... Anyway, I think the important part is that everyone, regardless of your position, regardless of whether everyone that you know thinks you're a complete extremist or lunatic, the fact is that when you start to think for yourself, it'll be easy to know what the right thing to do is. If you follow what you're being spoon-fed, well, you're not going to help.
You're just being programmed then. You're not even conscious. You're just like a robot of the system. But when you start thinking of yourself, your whole mind opens up.
And more to the point, to act on that. I mean, believe me, I'm not looking forward to people ridiculing me or having a go at me. And in fact, even today, when we were standing peaceably with that, where were we? When we weren't allowed to do the bullhorn. Where was that? I don't know. Anyway, there was this big dude, and he literally, I mean, he was just watching the thing, and he just went boom like that, and it was like, fuck, excuse me. Yeah, it's like, oh, well, you know, don't push me. Yeah, it was just so rude, but he seemed to hate me for holding that sign up, and it's like, oh my God, this is the First Amendment. Don't you want to know what happened to Jeff?
Well, that's it. They're mad because they know they're cowards, and they know the ones that get mad at you at least are a little bit conscious because it makes them feel bad what you're doing. You're freezing to death. Are you guys done? I think we've done a great job. Yeah, this is the last little crowd here with us. Amazing. All right. Well, that's it, folks. You're doing a great job. Hey, you guys want to go down to that deli down there if it's open and get a cup of tea? Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. By the way, you guys stayed here the longest. If it's open, if not, I'll take it to the hotel. Food's on me. All right. Yeah, how do you like that, Dallas? How do you like that establishment listing on 104.1? Stanley Kubrick's daughter, huge filmmaker in her own right, here standing against your evil. We have the brains, we have the guts, we have the spirit. All you have is the New World Order and tyranny and death. And so just keep being arrogant. Keep doing all of it. You have no idea. I think I just... Anyways, the whole point is I'm on the radio so much I forget when I'm on the radio, just like babbling incessantly. But, well, I tell you, that was amazing. I hope this place is open. I'm so hungry. Oh, they're closed. Where's the nearest restaurant? Oh, I don't want a Subway. God. Well, I'm going to go broke, but since I said I'd do it, I'll do it. I'm going to do it. I'm taking you all to the hotel, and but just don't say where we're going, even though we're videotaping it, live on air. I'll take everybody to the hotel and buy you something. But we're going to cut the transmission off now and not say where we're going. So, okay, here we go. You guys want to go over and get something to eat? Okay, here we go. We're going to walk, because the other place is closed. We'll have to walk to our hotel, and our hotel is the Hotel Lawrence. That's where we'll be. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. David Knight, you take us out here. Great job, brother. Legendary radio. We're alive and following our forefathers and mothers' steps of liberty. And I've never felt so alive as I do today. And I've seen the face of tyranny, and I saw it, and it's ugly, and it's also very defeatable and very stupid. And so God bless you all. And David Knight, closing comments.
Very insightful comments from the daughter of Stanley Kubrick. And, you know, I think what we saw today is exactly what people remember about the JFK assassination. That's just the mindless brutality of it, the mindless lies that we were told. And as I'm watching this, I'm actually thinking, you mentioned Clockwork Orange. I didn't know it was Stanley Kubrick's daughter, but I'm thinking about that movie, and I'm thinking about the criminals that, as the main protagonist, I guess you call him, got out of jail. He comes back and he sees these guys are now cops, and they get their kicks out of going around and beating people, which is what they did before they became cops. But that's the kind of people they were looking to hire in that society. And it looks like that's the kind of people that Homeland Security is looking for. Well, that's it for our broadcast today. Join us again on Sunday. This is the end of the broadcast.
Why is nascent iodine so important?
Nascent iodine is so important because it goes directly to the thyroid. It's not bonded to a salt, which means it doesn't have to be broken down. and it's the most usable form. It's what the body uses. It's what the body is designed to use. If you have low energy levels, if you have pains, if you have thyroid problems, if you don't feel up to par, well, they've proven now that the fluoride and a lack of iodine causes a decreased IQ, because you have all this stuff that builds up inside your system and builds up and builds up. And that's why some people, when they start taking iodine, will have what's called a Herxheimer reaction or a detoxification reaction. But that's a good sign. That means you're detoxifying all that fluoride buildup, the mercury buildup in there, the bromine buildup in your system, and the chlorine buildup in your system. You don't want those things. All of those things have been proven as carcinogens. That's one of the reasons prostate cancer is on the rise, too, is because prostate takes up iodine, and the men that are lacking iodine causes the prostate to become cystic and causes the prostate to swell and eventually leads to prostate cancer. There's been an extreme rise in polycystic ovarian disease, PCOS, with women, fibrocystic breast disease, because iodine is stored in the breast tissue, the ovaries, the prostate glands in men. It's utilized by every single cell in the body.
Why does this almost taste good compared to other iodine that tastes horrible? That's because it's real iodine atomic form.
We wanted something that's going to go straight into the bloodstream and straight into the thyroid gland. We wanted to put it in a vegetable glycerin base. That's a USP kosher certified vegetable glycerin base. And that product is not tested on animals. It's vegan friendly. It's gluten free. It's GMO free.
Of all the things I've done, Nascent Iodine was just absolutely amazing. So we developed with Dr. Group a double strength, low price, InfoWarsLife.com Survival Shield, the Atomic Nascent Iodine, available right now.